Number two, first, the speaker introduced present Miss Soo Kim, who played the violin concerto. Next, she announced the concert that evening would be preceded by a short talk by Professor Mr. Robert Simon on history of the violin, who had lectured on the violin around the world. After that, she said, following the performance, they would go to the lobby to enjoy the refreshments. Finally, she introduced the director who would introduce Professor Simon.
So, first the speaker introduced President Miss Soo Kim, who played the violin concerto. Next, she announced the concert that evening would be preceded by a short talk by Professor Mr. Robert Simon on history of the violin, who had lectured on the violin around the world. After that, she said following the performer, they would go to the lobby to enjoy the performance. Finally, she introduced the director who would introduce first season.
Number two, first, the speaker announced President Miss Soo Kim, who played the violin concerto. Next, she announced the concert that evening would be preceded by a short talk by Professor Mr. Robert Simon on history of the violin, who had lectured on the violin around the world. After that, she said, following the performance, they would go to the lobby to enjoy the refreshments. Finally, she introduced the director who would introduce Professor Simon.
As a speaker introduced President Mr. Soo Kim, who played the violin concerto. Next, she announced the concert that evening would be preceded by a short talk by Professor Mr. Robert Simon on history of the violin, who had a lecture on the violin around the world. After that, she said, following the performance, they would go to the lobby to enjoy the refreshment. Finally, she introduced the director who would introduce Professor Simon.